Welcome out again, everyone, to the Tennessee National Raceway. This week's Track Talk Profile Driver of the Week. We're here this week with the driver of the number J28 BMS chassis, sponsored by Sound Racing out of Clifton and All Around Underground out of Linden, Tennessee. That would be driver Daniel the Jolliff Jolliff. Welcome out to Track Talk. Jolly Pop, how's it going?
Oh, good, Lee. How are you doing? Glad to see you. Glad to finally get to do the interview with y'all. All the good stuff like that.
You missed the last couple of weeks on us. Well, you on vacation? Is it vacation time?
Yeah, it's vacation time. And then Steve kind of wanted to drive the car, shake it down. Steve Mon, which is Sound Racing, he helps so much. Man, him's kind of, I don't know if you call it a partnership or what. He helps me so much, and he said, I'm going to drive the car. He said, I'm going to prove a point. I'm letting you back in the car. You can have it.
And what point did he prove? Do I have to tell the people, or would you like to tell them?
Well, I tell you what point he proved. He proved how bad a car driver I am right now.
No, he didn't prove that now, Jolly Pop. He did prove that car was good enough to actually win, as he did go to victory lane.
Twice.
Twice while you were in your absence anyway. But you know, it all takes combination. You know that as well as any other driver here, and fans well. You know, you got to have the car. The driver's got to be intact with the car, and you can throw drivers in any car. Some of them's going to do good, some of them going to do bad. You know, it's just the marriage of the car and the driver.
Well, yeah, it's the marriage of the car and the driver, and I mean, you people that don't know Steve, you got to understand that he's been racing 25, 30 years. He literally lives and breathes racing, and I mean, and I'm so fortunate to have him around, because I mean, I don't want for nothing. I mean, if you know, our saying around the shop is strip, clip, or the motor build. We do it all. I hate to keep harking on him, but I mean, I drive a truck for a living and leave Monday, and most times get in Friday, and I've left and have a motor blowed up. And Steve say, not worry about it, you'll have a new motor time you get back, and you know, have a new motor built in 2 or 3 days. And I mean, that's why that I feel like he's made me. I've messed with race cars and raced for 10, 15 years, been around it all my life, but till me and him got hooked up, I'm finally, I think, coming into my own and trying to be a better race car driver and being a better race car driver.
Well, saying that, let's go ahead and you know, there's a lot of behind the scenes folks, Jolly Pop, and what goes on. Like you say, you leave out, you come back, your car is ready to go. Go ahead and get some of these names in if you'd like, and tell us who makes that J28 run good on Saturday nights when you're not around.
Well, the list, you know, it's a real long list when it comes to that. I mean, you know, of course, Steve, Tyler Woods, Tyler's stepdad Dale, Goose, Danny. I mean, it's, you know, we're kind of a team effort. We've been doing this about 2 or 3 years now with Tyler, and now Danny, and Chris Trull. I mean, I can keep naming names of people behind the scenes that help.
Right.
And then I show up, and I don't just show up and drive the car. I mean, I help. When I get in, I do a lot of work to it too. But it's really a team effort. It really is.
And it's always a team, even in your E-Mod class. And like you know, we've interviewed Jason Clayton from the E-Mods as well, Matt Mars from the E-Mods. This is an up-and-coming class, and it seems to be growing. I mean, I've talked to you back in the pits, last year I believe it was, when you guys didn't have but 2 cars maybe at the track. And then now we're looking at 9 and 10 cars at least at the track, just about week in and week out. A growing class, but you guys are just like family back there in the pits. Like you say, Tyler Wood, even though he's, you know, in a car above, a division above you guys, he's helping out. You know, everyone seems to be pitching into this E-Mod class.
Well, the E-Mod class, there's several of us have talked about it for years, where the E-Mods the A mods have kind of got out of hand. And they're not, everybody right now in racing, what it be, they want a working man's class. They want a class that's safe, that's, you can build a dependable race car, and you can afford to race it. And that's what you're seeing with the E-mod class. You're seeing the people, we've got a young man come in here, 2 of them, that's come in tonight that's never drove a car before. And that's good, because that's the building class. You can go buy one of these cars, and that's what we've said, and we've tried to get, tried to build on it. And like I say, there's a, Clayton, the Mars brothers, yes, we're all, and then the family deal, we pick, and you think we're mad enough to die at each other, and we pick and have so much fun down in the pits with each other, but there's not a night goes by that one of them win one of the other's cars.
Right.
If you need something, or if you wreck.
Always helping each other out.
Always helping somebody out. And that's what I've seen. And and I've said it before when we had the interview down front, not just the track, or not just the E-mod class. It seems like since Bill and the people, Sarah, have took this track over, and I hope it goes over to Thunder Hill, they have really made it a family deal. Yeah, people get out here, they have conflicts on the track.
Right.
But in the pits, I've been to a bunch of racetracks, and I'm sure you have too, that it's just not the camaraderie that you see back here.
I'll agree with that. And I walk up and down pit road just about every Saturday, and I agree with you. It's, you'll see open wheel, limited late guys talking to you guys, the mini stock. You'll see them, walking around. Everyone trying to get. What got you into racing, Jolly Pop?
What got me into racing? My dad went years ago. When I tell you I've been doing this all my life, I've been going Zeke Zimmer. My dad went with Zeke Zimmer back in the early 70s, late 60s, early 70s. And I'll tell my age, I'm 40 years old, and I've been going with Zeke Zimmer and some of that bunch pretty well all my life.
That's something
I remember Thunder Hill when Sam French had a tractor running the laps.
Most of us in racing remember the days, see Sam walking back to the actual tractor pouring some gas. Make sure we had electricity. And you talk about Zimmer, you see that on a lot of cars as well, Zimmer Engineering and things of that nature. You always see those names in, so that's actually your influence?
Oh, yes, sir. Zeke Zimmer, I've thought, like I say, I've known Zeke, ever since I was 2 foot tall. And Zeke, but Zeke has influenced a lot of people around there. Zeke and Mike, I would love for somebody to do an in-depth interview on Zeke Zimmer.
That may be something that THR Productions and myself might have to get together and just have a little track talk and a profile on those.
Like I say, Zeke is awesome. And he's a legend. He is really a legend in this area in racing.
Well, we talk about the E-mods, we'll getting into it. THR Productions and Tennessee National Raceway. We've got a summer shootout series going on. The E-mod race number 2 in the summer shootout series tonight. Jason Clayton, I believe, took race number 1, race number 2 tonight. And I hear and I see that a lot of you guys is actually going topless.
Well, that's kind of a funny story, and I don't know how it's going to turn out. And that goes back to me and the Mars boys aggravating each other. Me and the Mars boys was texting each other, and I said, I think it'd be cool for us to run topless one night, because I've always wanted to run a topless race. Jason Clayton.
We're talking about the cars.
Yeah, it don't matter there. If we want to get some spectators involved, we can do that also. But we was talking about it. We talked to Sarah. Sarah said, I think that'd be a cool idea. She said, I've never seen a topless race, and she said, I think that'd be an ideal. The Mars Logan stepped up, added $100 to the top finishing car, and I think that's a cool deal. And I'm interested. I've never drove a car topless, so I'm anxious to see what it's going to be like.
Well, I actually seen a picture of yours on Facebook already. Had the top off of it already. It's going to be an interesting race. What's going to happen tonight? Is the Jolly Pop going to take the J28 to victory lane for 3 weeks in a row?
Well, if like we laugh about in the pits, if the good Jolly Pop shows up, the aggressive Jolly Pop, it's a good possibility. If the one that might have his head up, his butt shows up. There's no telling what like.
Again, we're here at Tennessee National Raceway in cooperation with THR Productions, bringing you Track Talk here this week. Profile Driver of the Week, again, the driver of the J28 E-Mod here at the Tennessee National Raceway. That would be Daniel Jolliff. Jolliff, again, the E-Mods is something that's up and coming, and I see improvement every week. And in an interview with Jason Clayton earlier in the season, he said, good drivers in this series, not enough seat time. You guys are getting more seat time, and as you can see, the last 3 weeks been very competitive racing. Again, you had Steve Mond driving your car the last couple of weeks while you were absent on vacation, and put that thing in victory lane. Jason Clayton's had a couple of problems, later on, and the points is jumbling up. Jason was kind of running away with it earlier in the season. Now the points is getting a little bit closer with just one problem. He had that one wreck going down the front stretch here one night, and kind of got things a little bit jumbled up. What are we looking for in the points for the remainder of the season?
Well, I don't know how it's going to turn out. I mean, you got, I believe it's Jason, Matt, Ron, is that right, or something like that? I think I'm fourth or fifth. I really, with my job and the way I work, I really hate to chase points. I want to, but I hate to chase them and then it not work out. Be a point or two short.
Right.
And I think it's going to be tough. I mean, you got, like I say, Jason is on the top of his game. Matt, he's getting better. Matt's got a lot of good seat time. Ron, he's going to be tough, and I'm anxious to see. I believe I can get a top 3 out of it because I'm. As far as I know, I'm here for the rest of the year. As far as unless work involves something, but I think it's going to tighten up in this summer series. I think the summer series is going to be real tight. I think it's going to come down to very few points in the summer series.
Well, next week is actually race number 3. You guys are actually back to back because the race number 2 actually got rained out, I believe it was.
Yeah.
So we're kind of putting them back to back. Next week being race number 3 in our summer shootout series. 700 to win. Mars Logging putting up an additional 100 for the topless, best topless. If the topless car wins tonight, another $100. $800. What does that mean to an E-Mod crew?
Oh, that means the world. I mean, these cars technically are low bucks cars, and $850 is pretty well a motor. I mean, it's definitely a motor. It's a transmission. It's a set of tires that'll run, the rest of the year. And I mean, it means, even the payout all the way down means a lot. It's not just a top heavy. They didn't set a top heavy purse. And that's what's wrong with a lot of racing is a top heavy purse, because it takes the man showing up in last place just as much to get somewhere as it does the man in first.
Hey, you're right about that. A lot of money in racing, but like you say, a working man's class in E-Mod. Again, this is Track Talk for the week. Profile Driver of the Week this week being the driver of the J28 E-Mod, Daniel Jolliff. His sponsor, he's got a BMS chassis up underneath him, and his sponsor is Sound Racing out of Clifton, Tennessee, and All Around Underground out of Linden, Tennessee. Jolliff, I want to thank you for your time. I want to thank everyone for tuning in each and every week here on Track Talk. Until next time, ladies and gentlemen, Godspeed.